This is one of the most outrageous things I have heard in a long, long time. In a case that has been filmed, looks at Wendy and says, you know, you had a great career. Your career is over. It is never coming back. You're done. Why would a judge...
Imagine building a life on power, secrecy, and entitlement, only to watch it crumble in a single moment. That's the harsh reality now facing Kevin Hunter and his longtime partner, Sharina Hudson, as Wendy Williams' fortune slips completely out of reach. For years, the pair appeared untouchable, living in comfort and luxury that many believe was funded by Wendy's success. But when her talk show ended in 2022 and her finances were placed under legal control, the illusion collapsed almost overnight. Sources claim Kevin is now under serious financial pressure, quietly selling off high-priced possessions and maneuvering to avoid mounting legal issues. Meanwhile, Sharina, once associated with designer handbags and upscale outings, is reportedly working to stay afloat, adjusting to a life far removed from the extravagance she once displayed.
And, you know, the banks froze everything up. He was not in a position to pay $10,000.
This collapse didn't happen by accident. According to sources, it was a calculated plan that completely backfired. After the divorce, Kevin reportedly walked away with a staggering $250,000 every single month from Wendy. But the moment her guardianship was enforced, that money stream shut off instantly. By 2023, court filings confirmed what many already suspected: the funds were gone, and Kevin had no safety net. When he tried to restart alimony, a judge shut it down, ruling that Wendy had no legal obligation to keep paying him. With no income and no options left, Kevin made a desperate move, filing a jaw-dropping $250 million lawsuit. He didn't just target Wendy. He went after her guardian and even Wells Fargo, accusing them all of conspiring to cut him off financially.
My actions, you know, for what's obvious.
Things took a much darker turn as Wendy's health began to fail, and her world slowly closed in around her, while she moved between hospitals, rehab facilities, and medical appointments. Losing control over both her body and her finances, Kevin Hunter and Sharina Hudson were allegedly building a comfortable life using Wendy's money. Sharina, the woman Kevin kept hidden for more than a decade while managing Wendy's career in public, reportedly gave birth to his child in 2019. Sources say their relationship stretched over 15 years, overlapping with some of Wendy's most painful and vulnerable moments. This wasn't just a secret affair. Kevin allegedly purchased properties for Sharina, funded her luxury lifestyle, and even helped launch her vegan chef brand, all paid for through Wendy's resources. But when Wendy's show ended and her accounts were frozen under guardianship, everything stopped. Kevin later claimed in court that he couldn't cover basic expenses, including HOA fees, car insurance, and minimum credit card payments. In 2024, UBS sued him for more than $20,000 in unpaid debt. Around the same time, records showed he was selling luxury vehicles and listing the Florida mansion he shared with Sharina for over $12 million. Neighbors reported the property falling into disrepair, a clear sign the money was gone. Sharina disappeared from social media, likely retreating to family as reality set in. By 2025, she resurfaced focused on real estate, wellness, and small consulting work, far removed from the designer-filled life she once displayed. Sources say financial stress drove a wedge between her and Kevin, especially after he allegedly stopped contributing to their daughter's expenses.
I've always spoken to her, and she's always wanted me to spend her less.
Public reaction to Kevin Hunter and Sharina Hudson's collapse has been swift and brutal. Social media erupted, calling it karma finally catching up, after years of whispers about an alleged affair. The full story only came into focus when a Lifetime documentary aired in early 2024, showing Wendy struggling with confusion, speech difficulties, and limited mobility. While she fought to maintain her independence, sources allege that those closest to her, including Kevin and Sharina, were more focused on brand deals, filming schedules, and monetizing access. Sharina's absence during Kevin's legal maneuvers did not go unnoticed. Kevin attempted to frame himself as Wendy's protector, claiming in federal court that he was exposing financial abuse under her guardianship. Most observers, however, were unconvinced. Legal experts emphasized that, after their divorce and with no official role in Wendy's affairs, Kevin had no legal standing to file such a suit. Nonetheless, the lawsuit dominated headlines, dragging court-appointed officials, doctors, and banks into a whirlwind of accusations, some of which echoed concerns previously raised by Wendy's family and close friends.
The judge in the guardianship read Alex Finney the Riot Act, threatened her, and said, "You're talking," making an accusation that she's talking to the media, and if you continue doing it, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that to you. There is a gag order in this case. I can tell you that the judge has scared a lot of people in this.
Court documents and interviews reveal that Wendy Williams' guardianship has sparked controversy since its inception. It began in 2022 when Wells Fargo froze her accounts, citing unusual withdrawals and concerns that she might be exploited financially. Over time, the situation grew more contentious. By 2024, Wendy's niece, sister, and son publicly expressed frustration at being excluded from decisions. Her court-appointed guardian, attorney Sharina Hudson, reportedly restricted family visits and sold Wendy's Manhattan apartment without their input. Meanwhile, Wendy allegedly pleaded to leave the assisted living facility, describing it as unsafe and accusing staff of overmedicating her. At the same time, Kevin Hunter was pursuing lawsuits against the system, claiming he lost access to funds he had previously depended on. The irony was stark. A structure intended to protect Wendy instead exposed the many individuals with financial and personal interests in controlling her life. Although Sharina Hudson's name hasn't surfaced in official filings, sources indicate she remains involved behind the scenes, particularly concerning the assets still tied to Kevin. This case has lifted the veil on a tangled web of money, influence, and control surrounding Wendy Williams' personal and financial affairs.
The judge doesn't know what she's talking about. I mean,
by the way, there are a lot of people clamoring for Wendy to actually get back on the air and to have a show again.
When did this judge become Roger Ebert? I mean, I'm serious. Wendy Williams is a hot commodity right now. I can tell you from our Tubi documentary, it attracted a lot of attention. She's done interviews with major outlets.
The saga of Kevin Hunter and Sharina Hudson might feel like a closed chapter, but the story appears far from over. As investigators dig deeper into Wendy Williams' guardianship, examining sealed court records, financial transactions, and insider testimonies, troubling new questions are emerging. Allegations of mismanaged funds, secret deals, and unauthorized sales of Wendy's personal belongings have begun to surface. Sources following the case suggest there may be a previously hidden trust account that was accessed without Wendy's consent, potentially implicating multiple individuals in a broader financial scheme. If true, Kevin and Sharina might not be the only ones capitalizing on Wendy's silence to shield themselves. Beyond the scandal surrounding Kevin and Sharina, the guardianship itself is drawing mounting criticism. Multiple sources allege that the real beneficiary isn't Wendy but her court-appointed guardian, Sharina Hudson, who reportedly bills hundreds of dollars an hour from Wendy's estate. Each legal motion, denied visit, and court appearance appears to generate income for her. Kevin's $250 million federal lawsuit may seem extreme, but within it, he claims this isn't just about lost income. The allegations suggest the system intended to protect Wendy may, in fact, have enriched the wrong people all along, exposing a tangled web of control, profit, and exploitation.
And I can't figure out, why is there a gag order in this case? That Wendy can't talk about her circumstances? Why is the judge doing it?
That aside,
there is something that even way
excited to introduce you guys these pancakes with only 3 ingredients. Baby, when I tell you these things gonna be so...
He was with me, begging forgiveness, telling me to take a moment and he would see it.
Kevin Hunter has leveled explosive accusations against a network of lawyers, banks, and guardians, claiming they conspired to freeze Wendy Williams' money, cut off her access, and profit from her estate, all while shutting him out from income he once depended on. While Kevin's motives are clearly self-serving, some of his claims echo concerns raised by Wendy's own family. Relatives, including her niece Alex Finney and sister Wanda, have said they were repeatedly kept away from Wendy, with calls unanswered and visits blocked. A longtime friend described the guardianship team as vultures circling Wendy, more focused on profit than her well-being. Even her cats were reportedly removed, and her Manhattan apartment was sold at a loss. Meanwhile, Sharina Hudson's life has drastically shifted. Once flaunting designer bags, luxury cars, and a lavish lifestyle allegedly funded by Wendy's money, she now reportedly juggles multiple jobs, real estate, wellness products, while keeping a low profile online. Industry insiders say she's stressed, realizing too late that her place in Kevin's plans was never secure. The financial collapse and public scrutiny have strained Kevin and Sharina's relationship. Their Florida mansion was listed for sale, luxury cars were sold, and Sharina reportedly returned to live with family. What once seemed like an untouchable lifestyle has crumbled, leaving both to confront the fallout of decisions that once appeared profitable, but have now become a harsh, unavoidable reality.
Guardian has not done a good job of protecting my mom. As long as she has people around who are yes people, I know that she's not getting the help that she needs. Or
gangster that behind the scenes is that him? Or is that shout out to Wendy Will?
The spotlight isn't just on Sharina Hudson's whereabouts. It's on how she's surviving the fallout. Sources close to the situation say her struggles aren't just financial, they're deeply emotional. A former friend described her as withdrawn, shaken, and carrying a heavy sense of shame during a recent encounter. Insiders suggest her nights are haunted by the empire she helped build, and then lose, turning her current work into what feels like a desperate attempt at redemption. Sharina reportedly underestimated Wendy Williams' resilience and the legal system that has now blocked access to the fortune she once relied on. The guardianship is one of the strictest in recent celebrity history, leaving her cut off and paranoid. Constantly fearing lawsuits, media scrutiny, and surveillance, she's burned bridges, cut off business contacts, and avoids public events. One insider noted she moves cautiously, as if expecting the next blow, her guilt and anxiety shaping every step. For over a decade, Sharina's identity revolved around being the quiet force behind Kevin Hunter, out of the spotlight but benefiting behind the scenes. Now, without Kevin's legal support or Wendy's money, she's struggling to find stability. Her business ventures have largely failed, and rumors of mounting personal debt are circulating. Legal experts warn that if Wendy's estate investigates questionable spending or unauthorized transactions linked to her, Sharina could face serious consequences. This isn't just a personal scandal. Kevin Hunter's decision to prioritize Sharina over Wendy allegedly set off a chain of events, leaving Wendy vulnerable, isolated, and without access to her own wealth. Documentary footage shows Wendy confused, detached, and pleading for freedom. In one haunting moment, she drops a note from her assisted living window that simply reads, "Help Wendy." That desperate plea hasn't been forgotten. As the legal system slowly unveils more, questions are rising. Was Kevin's affair and Sharina's involvement merely signs of trouble, or part of the cause? Former employees claim Wendy's guardian, managers, and publicists fought for control, while she drifted further into silence. Some even tried to sell stories about her life, raising concerns about who truly benefits from keeping her story in limbo. At the center is Wendy herself, medicated, monitored, and cut off from the people who once surrounded her. Kevin continues his legal battles to regain access to her finances, while Sharina navigates her collapse alone. Insiders believe she may still hold secrets that could shock many. A former stylist warned, "If she talks, a lot of people are going to regret underestimating her." The bigger question looms. If Kevin and Sharina weren't the only ones pulling strings, who else was involved? How far does this network of exploitation stretch? Some names remain hidden behind sealed court records and confidential settlements. Rumors suggest even the documentary producers, some paid by Wendy's estate, might have prioritized headlines over helping her. In the middle of it all is Wendy Williams, the woman famous for exposing others' secrets, now potentially the most exploited story of all. As Kevin struggles with lawsuits and Sharina faces emotional and financial collapse, one question remains. Will Wendy ever be truly free from the chaos surrounding her?